let's look at two ways to probe the displacements in the structure. One is to move the cursor around on the model and probe the displacements using the probe tool. The other way is to mark out, to get the exact values at the vertices. And so when I do the probe, I usually turn off the deformation. Okay. Now if I select the probe and move my cursor over the model, I don't see any values. However, it turns out if I go to view and turn on thick shells and beams, and that'll wrap the cross-section in the view. So this is just a visualization. I'll explain that. And now I can go in and I can probe the particular values. Okay. And I can also click and it'll show me what the value is at that location. And if I want to get rid of that, I need to select label and highlight that and delete. But to explain, what this wrapping of the cross section around the midline is, so let me zoom into pin C, and the midline is going to be something like that, right? I'm showing only the last part of it, and similarly this midline is going to be something like that. And what ANSYS has done is it's just wrapped the cross section around the midline. So you see that this joint is not physical. I've seen students getting confused that this is a 3D model. No, it's not. It's just a 3D visualization of a model that just has the midline. But this visualization lets you probe the displacements. Okay, and let me zoom out here, and I can zoom in using the middle mouse button. I can leave the thick shells and beams turned on, or I can turn it off. I usually turn it off. Just remind myself that, hey, I have only the midlines, okay? And ANSYS is just showing me a visualization of some of the other parameters that are available in the model. Okay, the other way to probe the displacement is to, I can select a vertex. So I will say, I'll go under solution and I'll say vertex. Let's probe it over here. So I select that vertex and then I say probe deformation. Okay, so the geometry is already selected. I can change that by clicking here and then clicking on apply. I won't do that. And it's still showing me a question mark. That's because you can interrogate only one component at a time. So let's interrogate the X component. Okay. And then once I do that, I should be able to just post-process that. And you might have to expand this, and you see that what's that telling me is that UX, so this is UC X value. This is actually, calculated directly from the inverting those three algebraic equations. And similarly, you can probe all the other values that are of interest. And we can save our project. And, one of the next things we will do is to interrogate the reactions at the places where we have constrained the pins or the displacements.